Hello, welcome to Africa This Week. I'm Abubakar Sadiq Ibrahim. On Africa This Week, I have Alhaji Abdullahi Sani Lulu, a former president of Nigerian Football Federation. Before then, he was the director of sports in FCT, Federal Capital Territory in Abuja, a philanthropist par excellence, and currently a proprietor of Fosla Football Academy in Abuja. Sir, you're welcome to Africa This Week.
Thank you very much, my dear Abubakar, and welcome to Fosla Academy.
At Fosla Academy, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. You said something earlier in a private conversation with me, anything you touch turns gold. It's quite remarkable, your journey so far in football. There are many things to be done for Nigeria, your contributions, your life, your people in the society, that you help them one way or the other. You develop your own football academy, Fosla Football Academy. Tell us about this academy and what beats your chest before you come on to create this. You know, there are very few of them in Nigeria, but this is very outstanding because of the record you have created. You're even giving scholarship. I remember you gave scholarship to 23 footballers out of the first tournament you put together. And tell us about it, sir.
You know, it's a gift too from God that I am not a very rich man, but the little I always have, I derive pleasure in sharing it with people. No matter how little it is, whatever I have, I said, I derive pleasure, joy. It gives me joy, and God always keep elevating. That's what is there in the book. Whatever God has given you, if you spend out of it, it will be multiplied. So I spend this little thing I think I have with the less privilege, and I see God multiplying it for me in different ways. So, and that has always been my ambition in life since I finished university, or even before I finished university. Anybody who knows me knows that if I have anything, I'll share it. And it is that principle that has guided me up to this moment. And basically, those who knew me know that from 1980-81 that I was in FCT, I started work FCT. I will go and bring players that don't know how to play, bring them like mercenaries, because there are no people here. People are here are always technical people. They are here to build FCT. So I go, when we were bent on playing football, I said, well, I'm going to play football, but I'll go and look for best players to come again. So I bring players from all over the neighboring towns, Kaduna, Zaria, whatever, from where I came from, to bring them to fortify my team. And I kept doing this development. Some, I go to my village, I go to my town, I'm in FCT, I identify children. I started playing tournament in North Central, and I was identifying children in primary school, secondary school, and give them scholarships like that. I was doing it from my own little way of supporting the society. And this is what I've been doing since 1985 to 90. And now that I was in NFF, I got this land as far back as 2000, 2002. This land here in Fosla. And I kept thinking the massive land, what do? I started thinking about how to develop a secondary school, a university, a stadium that will be a complete complex that I will use to transform children from the streets into the school and developing them until they become educated as a graduate. That was my concept. And as I was in NFF, I was gradually building this concept, improving on it. I was even engaging consultants to help me do the best way to fine-tune this area. Because when I was in NFF, I was thinking about the municipalities on the 13 programs. And everybody knew that in the NFF 2008 or so, I launched on the 13 program in Cross River in Nigeria. But it was started in Cross River, where I brought youth, and from there, I started playing tournaments bringing children from distant and a long vacation period to our Go project here. And that was where they discovered people like Yenacho. So these are things that I was doing, but somehow I left NFF in 2010. And the people who were close to me knew that, look, there's a problem and I'm getting frustrated, the thing is disturbing me, the impeachment is not well acceptable to me and all those things. And they have to psych me up to say, my dream can never fail. If I'm not using it at that highest level, I can go back to the grassroots where I belong to and start building. And that was why I started almost immediately after the impeachment. And I never felt the impeachment, and I started with this program. And that is why this program has yielded result, because I was saying I am starting this project not because I want to get paying students, because I want to get indigenous students out of the street to come and develop them educationally, and then years, every year, just like the pioneering staff, students, pioneers over 23, the first set I sponsored, and thereafter we kept doing them.
Out of those 23, do you have any playing internationally at the moment?
You see, my objective is just 10 years ago.
Okay.
10 years ago from primary school. So my objective is, yes, many of them, when they finish secondary school, we want to play a tournament in Osun State. May the soul of my dear friend Ogunjobi rest in peace. We initiated with him that we wanted to go and register them for university, the private university, and at the same time to test the Osun United, who were already in, I think, in a National League or Premier League or so. And these small boys, when they are never being tested, they realized that they are as good as even the Premier League team. And they said, no, they don't want to go to university again. I said, what? My dream is not for you to go and play ball.
Yeah.
My dream is for you to be educated and look like what is this boy? One of those ego player.
Yeah.
And I said, my dream is you must finish education. While you are doing education, your talent will be brought out while you are in the university or in secondary school. That's what I'm working on. But people already entice them with money. Come, you go and play ball. Blah, blah, blah. I said, that's my dream. We fell apart, but we reconciled quickly. And now they are in university, and they are so grateful to God that they are now they are educated. They are so grateful to God that they can speak English, they can do this, they can think themselves, they know what is happening in between the agreement we are writing. So they are proud that they have gone to university. And that is my desire. Not until they finish university, I don't know what God has for them. But I know if we are truly working as a team, what I am doing with these boys as they are winning laurels at secondary school level, at university level, basically if they are winning laurels at secondary school level, and you want to look for under 17 boys, you should come and pick all these boys there. Because anybody who has finished secondary school about 2-3 years ago does not have any business why you should be under 17 students. These are logic. These are this, but the issue is once we are organized, the system is looking for underage children, and they have organized secondary school programs. They have no business to go outside the secondary school program to go and look for underage students. They should go to the secondary school.
You graduated on Monday. You graduated some of those.
Yes.
And there was the
moment
of yours.
One of them is actually in the under 17 before they finish the exam. But the issue is that most of these boys were the ones that won the principal cup. National principal organized the Federal Ministry of Sport. That's the trophy you are seeing here. So they won this trophy for the all secondary school in the country. So if you are looking for truly under 17, go to the principal cup program. Anybody who says he's playing for league, and that was the impression I had when I was in NFF. Anybody who is playing in the league, it's not in the Nigerian system. Before you get to play for Premier League, you must have already clocked 20 plus. Because you don't give the underage, it's very rare, you don't give the underage children opportunity to be exposed quickly. In development, why you are getting people under 16, under 17, because there are feeder teams. These feeder teams, they can even be secondary school boys. And then before you know, the feeder teams are playing matches, you see them, before you know, say, carry 1 or 2, 3, go and test in the senior team. And then they get exposed, they build confidence.
In the US, they call them farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all these structures are there, well defined. Until we put those structures here, you know that when you go to feeder team, you will see this age category. We want to build an academy. But I said, no, most of the academy are going to lose. You see people who are above 25, they say they are still in academy. No. Academy is meant for the youthful, very young children, below 20, if we are truly working the right thing. But all these things, these are matters of details. But as far as I'm concerned, we have introduced what we are doing in this school here because we wanted to identify them at that youthful level, nurture them educationally, and develop their skill, and they should remain in Nigeria. That is my objective. Remain in Nigeria to finish their tertiary education. So when they finish their tertiary education, if they are still in tertiary education or in secondary school and they are too outstanding at under 15, where everybody knows that at under 15 you're already saying you are the best in the world. We can do business that Nigerians, foreign countries, foreign clubs will come and identify these players.
Once a time become the president, that's 2006, the president of Nigerian Football Federation. You met that place in a decaying state, but you put marvelous, very big achievement were recorded before your departure. Tell us about that very lofty positions you had at that time, and you're able to see the sports in Nigeria, especially football.
Thank you, my dear brother. Well, just like you rightly pointed out, 2006, precisely in August, I was destined to be the Nigerian Football Association chairman. That was the name then. And those who were privileged to be with us in our campaign process knew quite well that it was a well-planned programs, and there was a manifesto which I delivered. And I have been in the football industry for quite some time. I had served Nigerian Football Federation as its vice president 1999 to 2002. I also made an attempt to contest in 2002. I couldn't make it. So 2006, that it was obvious and dawned on me that God was actually involved in this whole process. I came with a plan. I came with an objective. And this objective were quite enormous. Starting from grassroots developmental program to ensuring that all my youth developmental programs, starting from under 13 to the main team, which is Super Eagles and Falcons, were properly put on ground and guided and aided in making sure we excel at the international tournament. So these were the driving force in making me contest for that position. And it was obvious I needed to overhaul the system when I was finally successful in the election. And there were a lot of things that we met. And unfortunately, there was no resources. And there were a lot of debts on ground. And I'm sure at that time, we had about close to 300 million debt, which is not in use anymore. And basically, we needed to put so many things that there was only Super Eagles and Falcons that was basically operational fully. And it was clear that the assignment were quite enormous. Because I was determined with my colleagues, we came with a new vision, and I came with a new vision which I thought was going to be my driving force. And that vision was to use the power of the game of football globally to create a better future for Nigerians as a whole.
You have enormous experience before you came to NFF.
Yeah. Before I came to NFF,
you were a director.
I was a director of sports. Before I came into NFF, I had owned football club in the FCT. We are the pioneering members of creating football in FCT. And so I have joined in the development of this game in FCT fully at this highest level. I have sponsored with my little resources. I have participated fully in the whole programs, and I knew what was ongoing at the national level until 1999 that the people said it's time for me to go for service. And I was really ripe to go for service at that time. So when I came, I knew I had a dream. And this dream was built around my vision of using the power of the game of football globally to create a better future for Nigerians. Many people who knew what I was doing said, but it's crazy. You can't use just football to create a better future for Nigeria. I said, that's my dream. And when we started realizing this achievement, it was clear that God was fully inspiring us to getting this done, because He knew we were passionate and we were committed to the whole process. So me and my colleagues, we believed in what we were doing, and God took us to where we were looking for. And at the end of the whole tournament, or the end of the whole first tenure of my service, it was obvious that what other countries have not done, we did it within 4 years. by saying we participated in 9 FIFA tournament finals at final level. Not just participating at the continental level. We participated at continental level and we became champions. We qualified to go into the final stage of the tournament, starting from the under 17 tournament, male and female, under 20 tournament, male and female, under 23 tournament, male and female, Super Eagles and Falcons, and then the beach soccer, which we also introduced. So these are 9. And I have told even FIFA at that time that we took part in this program.
If I could recall, the name Nigerian Football Federation is when you were there before that name was changed from NFL.
Now, the process of transformation was also inclusive of that change, because when we came, it was Nigerian Football Association, led by a chairman, and in the course of serving for 1 year, we realized we needed to overhaul so many things. And it was on ground that in FC in Nigeria, most of the other sporting associations were also being called federations, and they were led by president. And we felt the feelings we were beginning to feel was that we can transform Nigerian Football Association as its chairman to a new brand, which will be called Nigerian Football Federation, to be a driving spirit of our new board. So we went ahead doing that, and we successfully did it. Government was behind us, and FIFA finally endorsed all that we did, transforming the thing, changing the status. You remember, just at the point of funding, we were operating the Decree 101, but we had to drive the process of making sure we comply with its FIFA 6 months deadline before I resumed position as a chairman. So we worked around the clock to making sure that government supported all we did. So the status was enforced using the Nigerian Football Federation and its presidency, which is what I now run from 2 years into the end of my first tenure. So this is exactly what we did, and I'm grateful to God that all that we did within these 4 years was a huge success. Everybody knew. The stakeholders were so delighted and excited, and the stakeholders were really wanting us to continue the process of leadership, because we have done what is rare to come by.
Before you left in 2010, your zeal of changing the face of football or sports, let me put it that way, in Nigeria, got into some problem. I mean to say, the by FIFA ranking, or the prefix of NFF, you got to have some changes from the old NFA, and when you are changing, there's reluctance from people you are with, or people who are working with you, or the old names, the way sports are done in Nigeria. One, the NFF supposed to make money. It's a make money machine for FIFA. As part of FIFA, there are other things you enjoy. You're supposed to enjoy if you don't move to federation. You did that. A lot of things, it brought about changes. You're trying to make money. You didn't wait for government to bring money to take care of your federation. You want to make money. Gone with it. Everybody come and stand there and watch football and go with new small tokens, gate fee. But now the viewership, you try to change it so that it made FIFA's standard, which means you call organization, you call big business corporations, apart from government alone, to come and advertise, come and pay for viewing right. It got you in trouble. Tell us about it.
You know, my dear brother, it's history which I believe Nigerians who were very much knowledgeable at that time, and I believe very many of us were knowledgeable, will know exactly what that happened. And it was obvious I ran a transparent system. Everybody knew that I was quite clearly transparent in my service to Nigeria. Just like I said at that time, every quarter we make press releases, we hold meetings with sports officers, editors, and I made it mandatory that every quarter of every year we must go to Lagos and make this press release. And the essence is to actually explain me and my organization whether we need to improve based on my target, based on my manifesto which I have delivered. And we were really having this parley with all those stakeholders. And I'm very committed to that process, and I'm sure it's clear that everybody who was watching what we were doing knew that we were actually driving to improve whatever we have resolved from all these various segments of discussions with experts, particularly journalists. And I was committed to that process. But what happened is clear. As I said, just before the election, it was obvious that everybody knew that the stakeholders were rooting for support for me to come back. And I was returned unopposed, and it was obvious. And basically, it went the way I want to believe that any disadvantage to make me do something strange. And that is exactly what happened. Because anybody who knew what happened by the impeachment, I went to CAS, and the CAS, I took FIFA and NFF to court, and obviously I was almost on the track of winning the case, but everybody who was following me knew that few days for us to listen to judgment, NFF withdrew my impeachment case. And what does it mean? If you don't impeach me, you should give me the position. Yeah. But certainly, I didn't want to show desperation to going back to the office. But the case was still in court. And certainly, NFF didn't take credit for that case being in court. So for me, it was then government that led the thing to be in court. And as a brilliant person who believes in transparency, who knew that I was innocent, I'm not going to fight, but I was not even in a hurry to go back because the case is in court. That means there's some little sign of stain in me. So I needed to clear it in court. I was vindicated, the impeachment vacated. As I said, I'm a man of God. I've been tutored. I was blessed. That's why God gave me the position. So
in 2010, you and your men, top men, let go.
So yes, why did I fight? Why did I struggle?
Yeah.
You can't fight the people that want to fight you, if particularly they are so much in number, and in particular they are from an advantage position in governance. Anybody who says he wants to fight government is just wasting his time. So, but I believe government is always wanting the best for the nation. So for them not to go for me, that means they thought there's somebody better than me. But I want to be sure of the consequences of what happened. But everybody who knew know that I have tried my best, and my best to me was satisfactory, and I believe God has blessed me to give him the best I could give to this country. And I'm sure Nigerians should be able to judge whether my best was good enough. It's only Nigerians, because they are the stakeholders. But I think I did my best, and I think those who did all they did deny Nigerians of my better service that was likely to come ahead after my first year tenure.
Thanks a lot for what you have done to sports in this country, in Nigeria, in the world. You have been recognized by FIFA very well, by African Confederation, Cups or Association, whatever it is, you have done well, sir. And you brought that to Vosla Academy as a sport developer and puppet of this institution. You have graduated the 5th sessions of your students, and even from, at the university level, from, as a worker, you are working, that people know you. One thing that people like about you, even when I hear about your name, I've not met you, they refer to you as a philanthropist. Tell us about yourself.
Well, it's very simple, that I'm always contented with what God has given me. I am not, by Nigerians or by human ratings, I don't think I have that resources to satisfy the earnings of the people. But I am always contented with what I have, and I'm ready to pass part of it in accordance with God's guidance and direction. I am always, despite the fact that I don't have, but the little I have, I share it. And it's difficult for anybody to believe in it, but the more you share, the more you get. So I am a blessed man in that direction, because I'm thinking I am passionately doing it. And that is the only magic, and that is why here I have here, sometimes I don't even know how to pay the salaries of my staff. But before the end of the month, I will be seeing a miracle in what God will do for us. How He does it, I don't know. But God is the ultimate.
You take your...
Because it's not that I generate revenue anywhere. I don't generate revenue anywhere. But this money kept coming either from people who are also supporting me, or people who one way or the other believe that I was a nice man.
And they believe in your vision.
And believe in my vision.
And they contribute.
They come to share and contribute to the project once in a while.
Alhaji Abdullahi Sani Lulu, in 2019, come and contest for governor of Kogi State in North Central Nigeria. You went in under APC, All Progressive Congress of Nigeria, the ruling party. You went in, you created an interest to move to Lugard House, because you saw a lot of things there. And what government or governance supposed to be for the people, taking out of the so-called perceived democracy, what real democracy you attempted. How did you find that race?
Well, it's a difficult one, but to be candid, I had the opportunity of contesting in 2015. In fact, before 2015, while I was even in NFF, there were that move that I should come and contest, but I was never seen the sign of calling. And in 2019, 2018 again, it was similar. They wanted to contest. No, 2015, they wanted to contest, and I told them the only simplest way I can advise them is to say my case is still in court. But I knew the impression they had would have led me to becoming a governor. But I never had a clear call. 2015. 2018, 2019, it was obvious that my case was over. And before the case was over, I was also lucky. The incumbent governor, Bello, was the governor then. And I was already running the school when I heard that I was being nominated for an award by the state government. So by that period, when they were celebrating 25th anniversary of Kogi State, I was shocked that I was wanted as one of the most outstanding sportsmen of our generation for that Kogi State award. I don't know Bello, I don't know Edward, and they gave me this award. So I was feeling that something, moreover again, I was an elder. The impression that time was that Bello was not expecting elders. But I am an elder to him by virtue of this, but he has chosen me without me lobbying, asking for, I've never had the opportunity of even discussing with the government or anything. So it shows sincerity of service by the incumbent government of Kogi State. So in 2019, obviously I should remain loyal despite all the cries of the people. I should remain loyal to somebody that doesn't know me and give me an award. And yes, I'm loyal. I'm loyal to governor. I'm loyal to the leadership of that system. But just like I told them later, I am not a politician. Because of my experience, because of what clearly I did, which is strange to the people, but not strange to God Almighty, God encouraged me to come and participate in the process to become a new governor. And that appointment, that directive, was actually done because that period, which I told the party, even Adam Oshomole, that you people stood here and spoke to the world that if Bello was owing 38 months salary, and Bello has not done any infrastructural developmental programs, and the whole Kogi State were saying so, APC will not support him. APC, national body, said it. So God heard the cry of the people and brought me out. So I told them I am coming out, not because I want to challenge Bello, but because God says there is vacancy. And you are to go and transform and salvage the situation in Kogi. I was only coming to salvage the situation in Kogi. I'm not coming to fight anybody.
Yeah.
So my coming here is not to fight anybody, but to say there is vacancy and I'm going to take the seat. So people should not go against God. That's what I'm telling you. And I told them, because I had no money, I was not going to spend money to campaign for anything. And truly it was clear I didn't spend money to campaign. Maybe the only money we spent is that we got a ticket. We registered.
Yeah. And you did participate in the primary?
I participated in the primary. Okay. Everybody knew what happened in primary, knew what happened.
I knew there was a primary, but
I participated in primary. I paid my 25 million, and I was among the few people that went into that stadium where they did the primaries. And anybody who was at the primary knew what happened.
But there was a time you wrote it.
And I wrote an open letter to Mr. President.
Yes.
Disagreeing with what happened. But as I said, I'm a party man now. I'm serving the country, not only serving myself. If the country wants, if God wanted them to do what would have put things right, God would have said, no, Sani must be given. God not allowing me to get as a positive purpose. And only God knows why he did it. And luckily for me, I'm not disturbed. I only wrote to address the issue before Nigerians.
Abdullahi Sani Lulu, the proprietor of Fosla Football Academy, a politician, a sport lover, football, to be precise, a very busy man, an entrepreneur, and a philanthropist, as I introduced earlier. I thank you very much to take the time from your busy schedule for hosting us in your office here. And we appreciate you to come on Africa this week. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, my dear brother. Welcome to this difficult environment. It's difficult because everything is happening the way it's happening, and it's our country, Nigeria. So we pray that we'll continue to see a better system. We pray that God gives us leaders that will be caring for the people, for the populace. Nigerians need overhaul. Nigerians are in their need of support services. Our economy, the valuation of Naira, the economic situations is not encouraging our people. And we pray the solution will not be far from now. I thank you for this opportunity, and I'm grateful to God for seeing you after a long time.
Yeah. So thank you very much. That's how we round up this week on Africa This Week. I'm Abubakar Sadiq Ibrahim. Join us next week as more events unfold.